asking me, but I find it an interesting dynamic to kind of like look into. And you work at a university. Now, you are an anarchist and you are also a vegan. I mean, I am a vegan, but I don't even like to even use the term because of how emotionally charged it is. I just say I eat a complete plant-based diet. Okay. So I know you're into that way of living too, of not harming animals, leaving the animals alone, and for our nutrition, taking the plant-based whole foods that are in nature for us to sustain ourselves on. Okay. And if we do that the right way, we could be strong, healthy individuals, thinking clearly, really doing the work. There's no reason why anybody can't transition to that form of a lifestyle, okay? Regardless of what you want to call it, vegan, plant-based, etc., okay? So obviously working in a sort of an urban, university style setting, university setting in an urban environment, you're going to see a lot of younger people who are vegan, okay, or who eat a plant-based diet. Yet you're also going to see that total dichotomy, that total socially engineered mind control dualistic dynamic, and putting them in total cognitive dissonance, where on the one hand they're vegan and believe animals should be free and free of coercion and enslavement through what's being done to them through the farming system, and on the other hand they still believe that government should be in place and human beings should be put on farms called governments of the world and kept in a state of free range slavery through the governmental system. How do they in their own mindset reconcile this total contradiction in their thinking?
Well, because I have a problem with both vegans and anarchists because of that concept right there. And again, the vegans, they can't vote to end animal, will never vote it out of existence. You have to abolish the government first, and then the animals will be free. Because humanity will have risen in consciousness to realize we can govern ourselves, and we don't want to be governed, so therefore we shouldn't govern any
That's right.
animal.
No masters above and no slaves below. This is the whole concept of no masters, no slaves. It's not only that we want to free ourselves, from the tyranny that is seemingly ruling us from above, but we shouldn't be masters over other beings either. That's what real freedom is. Being an advocate of true freedom means that you don't advocate for being masters of species that you consider not as developed or, quote, lower than you in consciousness,
Exactly, yeah.
So, I just think we have to bridge that community those communities through natural law. As you said, the anarchist community doesn't get the aspect of natural law that applies to animals, and the vegan community doesn't get the aspect of natural law that applies to human beings. But to me, it's... I said that the anarchist community doesn't get the aspect of natural law that applies to animals, and the vegan community or plant-based community often doesn't get the aspect of natural law that applies to human beings. And I just think we have to resolve that cognitive dissonance in the mental, functioning of these groups of people by bridging that understanding through an understanding of natural law.
Yeah, we really do, Mark. And I think one thing that's kind of scary in the vegan community are all of these fake vegan foods that are full of GMOs and all of that. So that's another thing I'm a strong proponent of. If we're going to be healthy vegans, we have to be focusing on real food. Right. None of this GMO, soy, chemicalized food, because I think that might be affecting their mental state as well.
I think that's definitely a part of it. It's like, small amounts of that, fine, but if we're going to make that the total staple of what we're eating, and then, a lot of them are juicing and blending on a daily basis and then supplementing correctly. It's like, there's so many natural things that we could be doing just with raw foods and just making that a staple. Then if you're going to eat a few things that are somewhat processed, you're not going to be doing that the bulk of the time. When you make that the bulk or the essence of the diet, then you're going down the wrong path. And a lot of vegans do that.
Yeah.
So, Patty, thank you so much for the points that you've brought up today. Great, things for people to ponder and consider. So thank you.
Thank you for everything, Mark.
You got it. All right. Okay.